What's up, potheads and political junkies? Cannabis Culture Newsletter Live. It is I, Anil Sthankiya, and co-host Spicoli. Oh, he's ready. He's ready to go.
Always ready, man.
Always ready. Spicoli, I've never once not seen you not ready. So.
Well, sometimes.
But nah, I don't know. You always looked ready to me. You always handled yourself as if you were ready. So I think that must count for something. Just opening up the chats. We got one in Facebook and YouTube, and I mentioned it the other day. Maybe we'll give Twitch another try. If they'll be nice to us, maybe we'll.
Twitch?
Twitch.
What's Twitch?
Twitch. Mostly video game streams, but people do other things on there as well.
But Twitch shut us down or something?
Well, they won't save so we'll do a live stream, and then they won't save the playback. So if you're not there, you want to watch it. Even 10 minutes later, it's not up, and it's like, well, what's the point of that?
Well, Twitch.
So hopefully they'll. I don't know. Maybe they'll come to their senses. We'll see. Hopefully. I think perhaps. Oh, CBC voter saying hi. Dedicated activist, help clean up 420. That's a
Coley, what's up? I'm baked. Hey, Aaron, Eric, Brian, Westman. I'm fucking baked.
Oh, he's baked. I've never seen you not at least fresh out of the oven. I think you were.
That's what I do, man. That's what everybody should do. Just get as baked as your body allows you to be, and just eat. Like this morning, I ate a 400 milligram of butterfly from the girl, from my love lady from SEC, Jessica, or Jay, or anyways. I already gave her name away. But anyways, I ate a 400 milligram butterfly last night, and then when I got up, I was baked.
Great. Well, we got Bolivia. What do we got here? Happy 420. Someone saying, Mike Mason saying, what's up? How are you? Jen.
Oh, cherries.
Yeah, we got cherries. Jen saying,
these aren't the BC ones yet, but if you can get these California cherries, and hey, so what you need to do, all you love humans out there, if you're tired of the price of $19.99 a pound for cherries from California, or you're tired of the $2.25 or $2.42 or whatever the gas $2.32 or whatever the gas got to, what you need to do, send your lovely human a bag of fucking dicks. So you go to my buddy's website at We Got the Goods, buy some bags of dicks, send them to your cousin, your nephew, your MLA, you fucking Justin Trudeau for sure. And then, honestly, anybody who's making this gas prices so everybody needs to eat a bag of fucking dick.
Anybody you want to reconsider with a little poke, what do we got here? Wondering CSP news. Yeah, no, definitely it's on. We're just getting warmed up here, but we've definitely got some.
And Neil isn't okay. And Neil, I just see this. So CSP news, is Neil okay? Neil's not okay.
We'll get there. We'll get to the details. I'm just saying.
But he is okay.
Oh, a bag of dicks is just what I need for the VPD. That's right,
exactly. Rosie, fucking
That's right. That is right. In fact, I'll tell you what. We got their number right here at the bottom of the screen. You guys can call that. It's a 1-800-1877 number. So toll free. Call from anywhere in the world. If you're saying to yourself, I see people in chat. I'm from Mexico. I'm from Germany. You should call anyway, because I bet you when they find out that they look like fools in Mexico and Germany and other places, it sinks in even harder. So anywhere, certainly if you're local, but anywhere in the world. And so if you were on the fence about trying to throw some love to Neil's direction, now is the time. Like, if you want to make a call, now, where do you buy them? You know what? You need to go to We Got the Goods.
We Got the Goods. We go to We Got the Goods and then buy a bag of dicks. Hey, we're going to have some tits and asses coming out sooner than later, because not everybody wants to eat a dick. Like, I know there's some homophobic Albertans or Hellbertans.
They were good, though. Those dicks were. That was the best dick I ever ate.
It's the only dick.
It's
a gummy one.
Only the gummy
but
one.
Anyway,
hello from Wyoming.
But Wyoming and Alberta, you poor mofos.
Denver, what's up? Just waving. There you go. All right, so we should get to some headlines then.
Yeah, you do.
But yeah, we got the goods. What are you smoking on here? Just before we.
So what I'm smoking on.
What is everybody in the chat smoking too? Let me know.
Let us know what you're smoking on. But so
Shiny bad guy smoking
in this thing from We Got the Goods and my buddies from Top Shelf, there's some 9-pound hammer, Godfather OG, some Bubba Kush, some hash plant, some God Bud, and some Pink Kush. I'm smoking on the green one because they're all color coded. So you get 6 different fucking wild fucking joints.
Let's see what we got.
Right. So you get 6 wicked good love joints. And hey, that's all flower. That's not shake or fuck all. Like, hey, my buddy's doing it right because
they're good. I've smoked no nonsense. This is not a. This is not.
Oh, there's a resin ring right after the first few, and they're lovely prepackaged. So if you can't roll a joint, you need to get high. Order 8. He's also got some small packs or soft packs.
Soft packs, I do.
So then
very
you
convenient.
It's about the same price, but you get 10 instead of 6. But they're all the same flavor. But this is why this is good.
Sample pack. You get to see what you like. Yeah.
And then when you find the one you want, order what you want, man.
Yeah, and then you also get the chance of not going sort of strain deaf. You smoke a lot of the same strain.
Hey, Rosie, you can of course donate some goodies to our program because we're gonna talk about that in a little bit because Neil Magnuson's fucking cannabis substitution project, it needs some help, and that's why I'm here even today. I'm gonna donate at least. I don't think I had the 100 I said I was gonna have, but I got at least 60 or 70 bags of gummies to give away to the Cannabis Substitution Project to try to help these poor humans on the downtown east side get out their fucking meth.
Yeah, well,
hit the headlines and let me chill out and get high.
We'll discuss it a little bit. So in case you don't know what's going on, there's a program here in Vancouver, and there have been subsequent programs that have happened, kind of copycatting it with their permission and blessing in other parts of Canada, but it started here in Vancouver. And it's called the Cannabis Substitution Project. And what they do is they provide low-cost and no-cost cannabis to people to help them get off opioids and other deadlier drugs. So if you're using, crack, heroin, whatever the thing that's going to kill you, and there's certainly enough. You can show up at this. They were giving packages away, and eventually they got a storefront, and they were forced out of their storefront because they can't get one of these Cannabis Act licenses. And then so they were doing it out of an RV because they would not stop doing it, but they would provide people 420 milligrams every 4 days of high dose edibles. They can also pick lower doses, but that's kind of the top. That way they get to stay in contact with people. They have to come back every 4 days. And they also sell cannabis to offset the cost of the program. And when I mean sell it, I mean they specifically price their cannabis to deal with what's in the neighborhood. So I spoke to Neil.
Like the Blue Door.
Well,
like the Blue Door. Like Neil. He's not fucking gouging anybody.
Well, I spoke to Neil, and he said he would get someone to go out and see, they talk to people, hey, what does meth cost right now? So someone says $3, and then we make sure we have a $2 gram, $1 gram, just to make sure no matter what, we have something a little lower, and we also just give things out anyway. They're not going to turn you. They're not going to turn you down. But anyway, they were raided by the Vancouver Police Department.
Despicable.
Yeah, Neil and 2 of the staff members were arrested and charged under the Cannabis Act. Although the charges, it seems like they kind of want to walk them back. It seems like they kind of don't want to do it anymore. They realize they shouldn't. But so that's the situation. I do have a bit of video on it, but we'll, maybe we'll talk about some of these headlines, and we'll go into it in a minute. But anyway, so that's the issue with the CSP. So yeah, you can find them. You can find them on Facebook, and they definitely will accept donations to the program because everything is done by donations and volunteers.
So like whatever. I'm sorry, I forgot your name, sweet lady from Surrey. And I'm happy if you could scroll down, but she's donating, doing the same kind of thing in Surrey.
That's right. So current legalization does not support high dose edibles. That's correct.
No, that's 100% correct. to get. I was just in the BC cannabis store on Wednesday, and for 10 milligram anything, 5, 7, 8, whatever bucks for a cookie or a gummy or whatever. But if you need something like this 300 milligram bag of dicks that you should be sending Justin Trudeau, that comes to you at maybe $22, I believe, from We Got the Goods. But like, man, you're getting 300. You're getting 30 times for less than an 18th or whatever. I'm not good at arithmetic right now because I'm high.
Well, there you go. I would also say it also has to do with the style of things. So, for example, we've got actually a clip of Ted Smith, Ohio 420 Wild Dragon.
Oh,
saying
Ted
what's up.
Smith.
We got Ted Smith. He was speaking to Victoria City Council, but he made a really good point about they provide 250 milligram suppositories.
Yeah.
And so if you took them, they have suppositories that are supposed to be recreational. I don't know what these recreational suppositories are. They know they're, like that's they're, stealing the, the medical access and providing it in such a shameful way. But if you tried to do it with the legal suppositories, you would have to take like 25 of them. Like you're dying of cancer, and they just want to jam.
How many bumbullets can you stick in your ass
multiple times a day? And the cost of it would be insane. So we'll get to the specifics on that. But it's like, yeah, and also I think there's something to be said about the way people grow things. Like one person's death bubba is not like someone else's. You can get the exact same seed, and if someone is growing it in a way that really brings it out and it's strong enough and it affects you the way you need to be, then that's a different thing than someone else's. Like it needs to be open. It needs to be open.
That's the beauty of mom and pop shops, or the ones that have been fucking.
Yep.
But the underground ones that were giving you all your pot before all this legalization bullshit. Like, man, the mom and pops, the grandma and grandpa, are the ones that have been growing for fucking 20 or 30 years. They only have 40 or 50 plants in their garden. That, guess what? You get to pick the leaves. You get to massage the roots. You get to touch every plant every day, and you see where it's deficient, and you give it the love. You can't do that in this mass productive government. If you're smart, find a home grower or somebody, mom and pops. Don't go to the government place ever again.
Yeah,
stop paying the tax.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my own opinion.
No, I feel roughly the same way. I would say unless they're doing something to right this type of wrong and helping the community and the culture, don't give them any money. Don't give the police
eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
Mother.
Yeah, they can do that too.
Yeah.
All right, so first headline here, we got Delaware House rejects marijuana sales legalization bill as separate possession measure awaits the governor's action. And by the way, all these headlines you can find, I should mention that right off the bat, in the Cannabis Culture newsletter. So all you can do is sign up for the weekly stash. You get a free weekly stash every single week. The things are changing in the newsletter. They're doing different styles and formats. They're always working on it to update it. And also, if you sign up for the newsletter, you get exclusive coupon codes and deals and other things that are only going to be available to that. And you can avoid the shadow ban. So if you don't see this type of news where you watch your news, and you want to make sure that we don't get shut off, we're not disconnected. That's a way to stay directly in touch with us. So this is a story out of Delaware. The Delaware House of Representatives on Thursday rejected a bill to legalize and regulate marijuana sales, even though it got a majority of votes in support. The move comes 1 week after lawmakers sent the governor separate legislation to simply legalize cannabis possession. The broader measure, providing for a commercial marijuana market, got 23 votes in support and 15 against, but fell short of a 3/5 supermajority needed for passage. So they actually only need 2 more votes, and 3 people did abstain from voting.
Delaware,
they're close. They're inching. They're getting closer.
And the ones that voted no should eat a bag of dicks.
Well,
Delaware.
They definitely should. They should really think about that. I got. This other one. One of the reasons they should really think about this. This is an article.
Hey, it's 420.
Whoa, 420.
420.
Let's make it happen.
So you need to do something.
All right.
We need to do something.
I got a joint
What do
here.
you got?
Got a joint. This is a joint. This is some red Congo and I believe a haze that I rolled together.
I'm gonna do the 9-pound hammer because it feels like you've been hitting the head with a hammer.
I like that hammer quite a bit.
Oh, the 9-pound hammer. It's like a rock star. It's one of the higher hitting cushions that my buddy's growing, but fuck it, it's delicious. Hey, happy 420, every mother freaker out there. We love you all. Love to the mother freaking love.
Happy 420 to everybody out there. Oh, homegrown Bubba Punch looks good. Lewis is saying happy 420. Yeah, so they have caps on. I don't understand all these caps on growing, the caps on buying, the caps on possession. Like, what is the legal carry limit on alcohol? Nothing.
Nothing.
So
you'd have backpacks and trunkfuls of booze.
Truckloads.
Yeah. And then, hey, but well, you're gonna. Hey, before I forget too, hey, if you're in the Toba, if anybody's in Manitoba at all, go see my buddy Squirrel at Cloud9 Canna Supplies, because if I don't fucking shoot him out a little love thing.
I've been following them on Instagram, and I keep seeing shots of the store. If I'm ever in Manitoba, I will definitely stop by. It looks like they have everything.
He gives away. He's a love human. He gives away lots of fucking freebies and has some contests and does great things for his fucking community, and that's why I love Squirrel, because not only does he squirrel his money away, but he's a squirrel master that fucking helps the whole little community of Dauphin get their dirt, get their lights, get their sprays, but then he's not just the horticulture guy. He's the guy that sells you bongs, sells you fucking everything you get downstairs.
Everything you need. So
Candles.
One-stop shop.
Yeah, he's a one-stop. Hey, and Squirrel.
What's it called again?
It's Cloud9 Canna Supplies. Hey, and Squirrel, you're doing a killer good job, and I love you, buddy. And I hope to get out to the Toba soon, but because of these flights and restrictions, I'll get there when I can.
All right, there you go.
Great,
so one of the reasons these guys really should hurry up, this is an article from Bazinga, U.S. Army veteran with cancer begs Kansas Senate to legalize medical cannabis as he is, quote, running out of time. The Kansas House of Representatives recently appointed key lawmakers from both chambers to a conference committee that will lay out details for a medical marijuana legalization bill. Cannabis advocates called the move a clear sign that reform is inevitable and can be expected soon. However, it seems that Senate Bill 12, which is still in committee, will not gain traction when lawmakers return on May 23rd to tie up the legislative session. This article, you can read it. All the links are in the show notes. But, this guy, I just, my heart breaks for this guy. David Obel is his name. Without accessibility to medical marijuana, many patients in the state are struggling, some from terminal diseases such as cancer. One of them is a U.S. Army veteran and resident of Paradise, Kansas. His name is David Obel. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Despite his serious condition, Obel is not only fighting for his life, he's also pushing for cannabis reform. A lifelong Republican who voted for Trump, Obel sent a letter to members of the Kansas Senate explaining how some cancer patients like himself are in desperate need of cannabis and how the plant can and does help the symptoms. Oh, man. Addressing the letter, this letter, like there's sections of it here, like he says, and I quote, "I'm running out of time. I'm fighting cancer and running out of options for treatment. The steroids I've been on since September are making me weaker and weaker. I can barely lift my head, my legs are tingly, and I have a trachea breathing tube. You have no idea how terrifying it is when you can't move air in and out." Like, I don't understand what this guy has. Just like it's if you really just
he needs some
I
CBD
he needs everything
and some love, and he needs a lot of fucking attention, man.
And and the delay always just seems to be all this nonsense, which was the same thing in Delaware, which is limited licensing. How do we get some money out of this? Patients are always last. This is bullshit. Like this should be the easiest thing in the world to fix. I'm sure you all know that, but yeah, this is they need to get on this a lot quicker.
Thanks, government. Anyway, it's nor hide nor hair. But I seen somebody said that I was the love canna master. Yes, I am. I'm the fucking guy that blows the fucking.
He definitely blew that cannon.
Yeah,
But we got a guy running for the Senate right now. His name is John Fetterman, and he actually has campaign T-shirts that say "It's high time to legalize cannabis." And the guy is quoted as saying, "It never should have been illegal in the first place." Fetterman, who has 14 years' experience as a small town mayor, told Forbes, "This is a plant with no known medical overdose. This is a plant now that's helped over 350,000 people in just my state alone with their medical issues." So it seems like slowly there are more people getting on board.
Well, and it's probably helped more than 350,000 in the whole state. That's just a guesstimate or whatever. But like, man, like honestly, marijuana helps, saves, and that's why Neil Magnuson and his cannabis substitution project is such a great thing. That's why I'm getting behind it, and I'm gonna.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I've got another headline. But you know what? I've actually we were
a few more, then we'll watch a clip.
The raid actually happened right before we were going to film his regular Tuesday show on Pot TV. So actually, you know what? I will run some footage here of the place being raided. And this is on the 10th of May.
Fucking criminals. Murderers. Murderers. Murderers.
And have the intention of stealing.
This game on all of you.
This is fucking wrong. You guys
game
know it.
On all of you.
You guys know it.
So what has happened here? Like what? For some reason, the VPD authorized these goons to come here and arrest us and charge us and steal our stuff. But mostly,
even though you have a license pending with Health Canada?
We have a license application pending with Health Canada. We've been in communication with them in the last 2 weeks. This is all just a criminal act by a bunch of bullies that want people dead on the streets, that want the fentanyl dealers to get rich, and want those assholes that have taken over the cannabis industry to succeed in eliminating medical access to people. This is disgusting.
Pick on our women down there.
Yeah.
You know how much you like to do that.
Killed a guy the other night for no good reason. Could have used a stun gun. What the hell?
They pulled me over and gave me a ticket for rollerblading. I gotta go to provincial court.
People down here. This is not what the government cares about.
I gotta go to provincial
This is
court.
where they send you to die.
On the 17th for rollerblading.
Where they kill you. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Disgraceful.
No supervisor. Where's that supervisor?
It's not going to come down on you as much as it's going to come down on your children and mine as you rip society apart.
I need my medication.
Go for all girl.
You guys should all quit. If you had an ounce of conscience, you'd all just quit your jobs today. Because this is the final straw, isn't it? How corrupt of a government do you guys want to work for? You're going to cash those paychecks covered in blood? Oh my God. Oh my God. I wanted to respect police. How can I respect police when they do this? This is disgusting.
They don't like it when you live stream them either. They'll arrest you within a day or two. I'm
going to call 911. There's murder going on here.
Guys, these guys,
I can't even fucking think. I just put a 911 into my phone. Alright, here goes. Murderers! Murderers! Corrupt fucking murderers! Murderers!
Why don't you go look for missing and murdered women instead of picking on these guys? Is that too much work for you?
I'm not going anywhere.
Murderers!
Represents genocide!
Murderers!
Hey! Murderers!
you fucking
Open
bastard.
your eyes! Open your eyes!
I will never.
They're coming down on you!
Right here, right
Open your
now!
eyes!
Bunch of murderers!
Here you are in the middle!
The CSP man has been saving lives on the north side for over a year and a half. Fucking dickheads, man. Sorry, but I'm extremely upset. Come on. You're over right at Main Street, right by your police station, and your officers have just decided to murder a bunch of people down here.
Hey Jen, sorry to catch at such a moment. Were you here when all this happened?
No, I was on our lunch run when this started. I got a call that it was happening. I don't understand why they want people dead so badly. I don't understand. They just want everybody hooked on either pharmaceuticals or street drugs. They don't want you getting off of it. Addiction is a big money fucking making industry.
And with a huge crowd of people standing around them telling them what they're doing is wrong, they still decided to take it away. And no supervisor on site.
Thank you for your comment.
I'm extremely upset.
Were you here when they arrived?
I wasn't here when they arrived. I was called and told that they were here. I showed up about 5 to 10 minutes after.
Were you here? Well, let me, Glenn Wells, live streaming. There he is. What happened?
Well, we were sitting inside, we're just getting ready to show, and somebody came in and said the police were here, and then Neil said get the live cameras going, and came in, and yeah, they were arresting Andrew and George. Right, and then Neil went up and told them who they were and what they were doing and how these people are killing people and we're saving lives. And they said at 2:36 that Neil was under arrest. And, and then they came back and they were told that they give them release orders, federal ones, and that nobody would be sent to jail today. And they took the ban. So lots of people are going to be dying today, and it's really sad that this is happening. Like right now, live, like all these people around here are supporting them. Look at these people. All these people are angry. Like so many people walked away today. There it is. It's gone. It's gone. A life-saving vehicle. This is crazy. It really is. So yeah, that's what happened basically. Then Neil was telling them what he does. He's got letters of support. He's got the city on his side, and they said they were the ones who sent them down. So,
yeah, license pending.
VPD. Yeah, this was not CSU. This was the Vancouver Police Department. And they are being arrested under the Cannabis Act, which is a federal law. And there was no supervisor here, so apparently that's not proper.
I would like someone to admit. I wonder who would.
Yeah,
who
well,
would
they're
give that
saying
order.
on my feed that there has to be a supervisor here when they issue a federal release order.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's
look into that.
Oh, we've got all these people here watching. And okay, yeah, maybe talk about
And go around the truck and keep the people inside.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to start getting really intense. It's like a war now. I want to go back to 1960s tactics. Human shields and stuff like that.
Do you mind if I ask you? So, what happened to your record? You were in the building,
in the store, and Michael comes in. He says, "Oh, there's police out there." I said, "Oh yeah, what are they doing?" He goes, "Oh, I'm not sure." I said, "Well, it's nothing to do with us." He goes, "I don't know." So I went out and had a look, and a whole bunch of officers surrounding our vehicle. And yep, they're here for us. And somebody internally in the VPD ordered them to do this. They say that we were told 4 or 5 times to stop doing what we're doing, and that's complete bullshit. It was well over a year ago that I had a conversation with Candace Murphy of the VPD. She told me that we couldn't do what we were doing here. I said, we have to do what we're doing here. People are going to die if we don't. And that's where we left it. So here we are, I don't know how many months later, like that was November of last year, of 2 years ago actually. So it's been that long. November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So 17 months later, now all of a sudden they're surrounding my vehicle and taking it away and condemning a bunch of these people to the poison drug supply. Like, what's with that? Why wouldn't they just call me and tell me? He says they told me 4 or 5 times to quit. They've not done that at all. So anyway, this is really horrible. I'm not sure what to do. I'm trying to gather my thoughts here a little bit about how we're going to continue to help people.
It's disheartening.
That is disheartening.
It's fucking disturbing. It's fucking disgusting, man.
In the show notes, there's a link to a video that is a 2-year update at that time of the Cannabis Substitution Project. and it has over 75 people saying how much they need and appreciate the
And it's
service.
got them off the opiates. And do you know what happens when you? I used to be, and I'm sad to
And
say.
there's more than that, actually. I stopped counting at 75. I just said I'm not going to count anymore because that's enough. There were so many people. Because I have to make a note of how many. So there's more than 75.
I used to be an opiate addict myself. I'd eat the grade 80 for breakfast sometimes. I'd eat the fucking Oxy 40, the yellow one. I'd eat fucking 5 or 8 perks at a time. I was in a terrible place in Grand Prairie, Alberta, but you know it got me off of all the fucking kicking and the hillbilly heroin I was doing was marijuana in some high dosage edibles. And we're gonna give this. Hey, I have 50 edibles from my love buddies from We Got the Goods in Top Shelf. So we're gonna try to get Neil back on his feet and give him 50 from them for sure.
Yeah,
I have some other bags of dicks that we're gonna give. I don't know how many bags I got, but we're gonna give some bags of dicks. Even though I wish that everybody would just buy them and send them to the guy that's making the gas prices, or the guy that's making. Send her to the police officer that fucking arrested Neil, for fuck's sakes, because it makes me sick. Like, Neil Magnuson, such a lovely human, trying to help out the downtown east side. Like, he's really...
Yeah, I mean...
and he's committed.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just the point of him even having that fucking motorhome there. And today I'm not paying for swearing, but...
No,
but I love Ted Smith, and I'm gonna still donate some more money to Ted Smith. But man, Neil Magnuson, a gem of a fucking human, and for that to happen to him a week and a bit ago, it's crazy.
Yeah, actually, you know what? The very next day, he was back up. Let's watch this.
Let's watch this one.
Cops took our van yesterday. Yep.
The Cannabis Substitution Program, for those who don't know that, is a program where we help people get off of opioids with cannabis, especially high-dose edibles. And we've been doing that with great success for over 5 years now. A journey of first being at Vandu for 3.5 years. We've been in this neighborhood for 2 years, and we've been doing it out of an RV for the last 1.5 years because the city wouldn't support us in being in the store with a license until Health Canada approved our application to be able to continue to do what we've been doing successfully and demonstrating for all of this time, studied by Dr. M.J. Malloy and peer-reviewed papers, dozens of them showing that what we're doing is effective. We have a great letter from Professor Zachary Walsh, the foremost expert on cannabis replacement therapy, stating that what we're doing is saving people's lives, and we certainly know that. And in his letter, he states that we should be not only allowed to continue, but that we should be supported, encouraged, protected, and allowed to expand what we're doing. So we've been waiting for over 1.5 years for Health Canada to give us that license for the application that we put in there. Really hampered by that and not having that license and our ability to meet the needs of the neighborhood and the people that are dying in this neighborhood because of the poison drug supply. And 3 weeks ago tomorrow, we got a letter from, Friday, we got a letter from Health Canada stating that they were intending to deny our application because the cannabis we're using doesn't come from them. So therefore, I guess that means it must not be safe enough for people that have decided that they're going to use fentanyl and heroin and crystal meth and crack. But anyway, because our cannabis doesn't come from them, they're not going to give us a license, and they wouldn't give us a license anyway to serve anybody except those people that have a doctor supporting them in their choice. So full-grown consenting adults who have decided that they're going to use fentanyl and crack and crystal meth, and now they'd like to get off of that substance, can't just choose cannabis as an option to do that with because the government won't let them, period. So anyway, yesterday the VPD showed up, swooped in on my colleagues here and arrested them, and eventually seized and towed away the vehicle, and also arrested and charged me for selling cannabis against the Cannabis Act. And so here today, this is our answer to that, is that now our little keeping a low profile and just doing what we're doing because we are able to at least do that to meet the needs of the neighborhood, has turned into a full-blown, here we are, we're doing this, we're protesting that, and you know, what are you going to do about it? Because we're not going to stop. I mean, they could probably put me in a cage or kill me, I guess, but other than that, I'm not stopping, and I know I speak for a number of other people as well. And we've gotten such amazing support from the community here since yesterday when this happened. We've had dozens and dozens of people sign our petition that we have stating that we should be able to continue what we're doing here. And so yeah, here's what we're doing. And I want to make sure that everybody gets to where they're going without too much inconvenience, but that everybody gets to know what's going on here, and that our government is actually trying to, or allowing people to die without letting even citizens intervene that can help with that, and that they're going to make criminals out of us for even trying to do that, and use the heavy hand of the law to try to force us to stop doing what we're doing. So yeah, this is where our RV was, and now we just have this going on, and we're gonna do, this is just day one of a forever protest. We'll see how far it goes, but that'll be up to all kinds of different factors as to how we continue from here. But we will be continuing from here, and we will make sure that everybody knows as best we can what's going on here, and just how corrupt the government is, and how little they care about the actual people that have found themselves struggling in their lives because of a lot of different circumstances, many of which they didn't bring on themselves even in the first place. And instead what they're interested in is protecting the health and the bottom line profits of the government cartel weed distributors and weed producers. This is a real shame. It's Canada's shame. It's the way that Trudeau decided he was going to legalize cannabis. All it was lies. All it was a hostile attempt to take over an extremely entrenched and beautiful industry that had been thriving for a long time despite criminal laws against it. And they've just tried to take that over to increase the amount of profits that they get out of those particular sales of cannabis. And that completely leaves out the poor people. It completely leaves out the sick people who really need cannabis and need it every day. And it eliminates those people from access who would use it to escape addiction. And the addiction issue is a public health emergency. We've got hundreds and thousands of people that have already died across Canada from that public health emergency. And if they had had easy access to cannabis high-dose edibles, a lot of those people would still be alive. So I hope the people of Canada that have felt the pain of the loss of our loved ones because of this scourge of opioid addiction perpetrated on our society by doctors on behalf of pharmaceutical companies that are corrupt and greedy and all of the rest of that, well, get low barrier access going. Fight for low barrier access. Be part of what we're doing here. We're not going to stop, but we need help. We need all of you people that have been touched by this to get active, to write letters, to send emails, make phone calls, call the media, do whatever you can. But this is a very bad situation. More people are going to die if the government does not allow for access to cannabis easily for this crisis.
Doing it, I probably would have got on board because honestly,
he's an inspiration. I feel he deserves the Order of Canada. I don't know how selfless you can be just trying to get people aid. Like, he crossed the country 4 times on rollerblade, called the Freedom Tour, to raise awareness about cannabis. Like,
but he's
like,
just
granted, he had 2 legs and he wasn't Terry Fox, but also it was 4 times, and it was like, I feel like there's a balance there, you know?
And he's a
like
lovely guy that does and gives back. Like,
yeah,
man, he's doing such good things out there.
Yeah, because he could easily be putting this passion into a purely commercial venture. If he decided just to be a salesman, like, he was a successful contractor.
No, he wants to stop the addiction. He wants to stop the madness. That's why I was saying before while the clip was going. I love Neil Magnuson. He should be almost my mentor. He's inspirational. He's a good fucking human. His heart's in the right place, and his head's even in the right place because our government surely doesn't have it going on like they should, man.
No, they're not treating him right.
Anyways, so before you go into your news thing,
go.
If you go hit the fucking We Got the Goods website, and you could hit. What I'm going to hit right now is some live resin from the fucking live resin. That's watermelon OG. We're going to hit some of this purely seductive love sauce in the fucking bong while Anil tells you the headlines, because I need to get big. Ooh, smell it, man. It's fucking delicious.
Wow, I'm consistently blown away.
But it's live resin terp sauce. So what they've done is they took the plant, cut it down, stuffed it in the tubes,
kept it fresh,
blasted it so it's not dried or cured, and then they don't get as much return. But what you get in the end is, I just want to eat it. I can't. Okay, you go do your headlines, please.
Yeah, I was just also going to mention. Also, Neil mentioned like the idea that Health Canada wouldn't approve their cannabis source. All cannabis, as far as I know,
it grows from the dirt
or
hydroponics or whatever.
It all comes from people who are medical growers, and that's their overage, or people who are growing their 4 legal plants and donating it to the program.
Project.
And then other people are either making them, or maybe they bake them themselves. Sometimes they show up with them in cookie form. So that's all acceptable cannabis.
I don't know
what Health Canada is saying.
Any cannabis is acceptable cannabis.
Yeah, I certainly. I think it got you. It's bubbling beautifully, though. It's turning into nothing.
Well, hey, I should have probably let it cool down a little bit.
Maybe a bit.
But I'm not into those
waiting
30 seconds for low temp hits. I'll just take the hit when it needs to be hit.
He's ready.
All right.
There you go. You're all set.
Yeah.
So Neil's back at it. They could really use some support. If you do live in the area, stop by and just show up. The more people they have on the street, the better. And give that number a call. Call the VPD and let them know, because Neil needs his van back. It's still full of all those people's medicine, the number of their records, because that's how they determine. Like, they have a record keeping system of who's shown up and taken what if you're on the program, so they know you're getting the right dose, etc. That's all in the van. At least a copy of it. So it's like they need to return this immediately. Yeah.
Well, they need to give the man his property back. And honestly, he's not eating or selling them. So let him have the fucking whatever he's got in there, so he can give it away, because that's all he's been doing. Get away, get away, get away now. That's what Neil Magnuson is give it away guy. That he fucking is trying to help this poor, wretched downtown east side of Vancouver. And Kennedy Stewart will tell you, it's safe to walk downtown. Meanwhile, 3 or 4 fucking assaults are going on every day. And guess what? Just more people a little more lackadaisical, getting too high. Hey, when you're high, you don't ever go abuse or fucking assault anybody. You know what you do? You order a pizza and you hug some people.
Oh.
Because that's what you do when you're high. You fucking order pizza and hug people and love everybody. It's not like booze or the meth or the crack. And I don't know anything about those things. I know about the booze. And I know about a lot of things, but meth or crack or the opiate, not so much. Fuck, that thing just kicked my nuts.
There's one right there.
Woo!
Yeah. So I guess what you're saying is now what you know about is weed, and so that's
I'm flourishing now that I know about weed. Is I'm not decrepit. I'm not dying. I'm not fucking. I'm flourishing.
You are. I would say so. It certainly seems that way.
Woo! All
right. We do actually have one more clip of that. This is a day or two later. This was from May 13th. This is City News.
People need to have high-dose edibles or they're going to die, and we're not walking away from them.
A well-known cannabis advocate says he's been charged with trafficking on Vancouver's downtown east side for selling low-cost cannabis out of his RV. Neil Magnuson of the Cannabis Substitution Program says it happened Tuesday, about 2 years after they set up near Main Street and East Cordova.
Until they drag us away in chains and put us into cages, we can't stop helping these people. We've known them for years. We care about them.
tax on them just because a government says you have to do it legally or not at all.
Video posted earlier this week shows several officers speaking with Magnuson. He says 2 members of his staff were also charged, and his RV was towed.
The group says they have over 200 members who rely on the cannabis products here, and without them, they're at risk of deadly overdose.
One of our regulars has been like really upset by it. Like, she has an extremely high tolerance. So even with our affordable prices, she still struggles to get what she needs. But like, she was so stressed out about the whole thing, like she spent the entire night crying. So I ended up just buying her some stuff myself to help her.
I don't even think about the other harder stuff. It's just the THC gummies work the best for myself.
75,000 cookies I've donated to the downtown east side by New Year's Eve. I've lost friends. Friends of mine have lost their kids. My daughter's lost her stepfather and his brother.
Businesses need a license to sell non-medical cannabis in BC, but Magnuson says this is medicine. He applied for a Health Canada exemption for a license to sell low-barrier cannabis and is still waiting for a decision. Until then, his business remains illegal. Dr. MJ Malloy's research at UBC includes studies that found cannabis use resulted in less use of crack, and it increases the chances people will stay in treatment to get off opioids.
Where would you go if they got shut down?
I'd have to buy them from different cannabis stores, which I'm on disability, so when it'd be a hard one.
I shudder to think of what would happen to many of our members, you know, and what would happen to them. They're going to go back into the poison drug supply. Many of them will die.
Magnuson shared this notice to appear in court in July. The Vancouver Police Department says there is an ongoing investigation, but it's not sure if charges have been approved. The BC Prosecution Service and Public Prosecution of Canada were unable to confirm the charges to City News. In Vancouver, Crystal Ladaris, City News.
It was interesting, the phrase approved. So I wonder if the city is able to maybe initially press federal charges, but they still need
I don't know,
ahead.
man.
I don't know. All I know is that was. I think also someone else that would be worth contacting if you guys are feeling the spirit to help out Neil.
Please
contact Health Canada. And just say, hey, what's up with Neil Magnuson's application? He should be approved already. He shouldn't have needed to wait this long.
The guy, man.
Like, I don't, yeah.
We're about to, are we almost?
Oh, yeah.
No,
we got 2 little headlines here. And then we do actually have a bit of footage of Ted Smith in Victoria City Council.
Hey, before we talk about Ted Smith, I got to just give this heartfelt thing out because, man, I only met Ted Smith once. But when I did meet him, what a lovely mother freaking human. I've already donated, I think, 3.
I think the total on that, I thought total on that was 680, I think.
Bro, but that was when you matched. But I'm gonna, because last time I lost, but I'm donating another 200 to Ted Smith's thing. Hey, if you love bucks, instead of the trucker convoy, if you're a pothead. And especially if you live on that little island, and you should know about the fucking place.
If you live in Victoria and you're not
man,
back in
then
Canada,
you know Ted Smith. But like, man, help the human out. And honestly, man, give whatever you can afford to give, because he gave for you for how many years was that place?
1996, I was told.
96. So I can't. So 27, 26, or I'm not good at arithmetic right now. I'm higher than fuck. I ate a gummy before I showed up because I was nervous. And now, I got the munchies. but buddy, Ted Smith is the loveliest salt of the earth human on the planet, and if you don't know about him, you should.
The Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club has been operating supposedly since 1996. They've been providing medical cannabis in different forms to people. They were part of a landmark decision
25 years.
allowing edibles to be accessible as medicine, but not accessible apparently enough. Even though they did have that favorable ruling because they're being forced to close, and because the community safety unit, the local unit tasked with enforcing the Cannabis Act, is fining Ted and the club $6.5 million, and they've raided them twice.
I thought it was more than
And it
that.
dawned on me that I don't even know if that shows up in crime stats, because I don't know if he's officially been arrested. So when they say like, "Oh, arrests have gone down," well, does that include Ted? It was a $6.5 million fine and shut your club down. That's interesting, but we'll look into that later. But we've got footage of Ted addressing Victoria City Council, looking for additional help with his Health Canada application. Health Canada is holding up a lot of people. I spoke to a medical patient who said he's been waiting over a year for his designated grower to get the renewal for his paperwork. He's like, when am I supposed to
if you're a police officer or if you used to work for the city, well, guess what? You got a dispensary. But if Ted Smith, who's been helping humans for 25 fucking years, I'm gonna say the F fucking bomb for this fucking thing, because, buddy, Ted Smith was fucking the loveliest, almost BC human, and for this to be happening to this poor hombre is disgusting. And what's happening with Neil Magnuson is disgusting. And what's happening,
and it's clearly in the same spirit. Everyone who's been peaceful with cannabis has clearly established like not an ill intent. I don't understand why there isn't licensing for this. And supposedly the Cannabis Act is supposed to come up for review, but if it doesn't include all this, low barrier access, Ted and everybody else, this building here, then what really is legal? It's legal. It's legal. Well, I don't know. It seems like the people who need it the most don't seem to have legal cannabis. The cops got their weed, but anyway. So speaking of, that sort of theme, but broader. This is an article special to cannabis culture, which you can find at cannabisculture.com. Swaziland's cannabis grandmas trampled under legalization. Rural grandmothers in Swaziland risk arrest to grow, harvest, and trade cannabis because they have no other means with which to feed the orphans left behind by the raging HIV/AIDS crisis. So in 2012, rural grandmothers in poverty-stricken Swaziland earned global goodwill and sympathy when the New York Times famously presented them as "Grandmas Grow Gold in Swaziland." Today, cannabis cultivation has been legalized in South Africa, the country that surrounds the tiny kingdom of Swaziland, and is the largest market for the famous Swazi Gold strain of cannabis. Legalization in South Africa, contrasted with criminalization in Swaziland, is throwing Swaziland's enterprising grandmas into a precarious situation. So we were better off before neighboring South Africa legalized cannabis. First, commercial growers in neighboring South Africa have snapped up our customers. Then legalization in South Africa is motivating our own Swaziland authorities to clamp down on us unregistered growers to prepare the way for future commercial grows. And this is
that's
a
like
story
mom
about
and
their.
pops. That's like mom and pops.
This is grandma. This is your parents are dead. You're an orphan, and so grandma is growing Swazi Gold to get you something to eat, and they're shutting out grandma. Yeah. I would way rather have my weed from this grandma.
Me too, man. Because grandma's been growing it, and now this is like the fucking what's happening here. Mom and pop shops used to grow 40, 60, 80 plants, and now with the commercialization shit, and you got fucking if you don't touch the plant every day, you don't love the plant, and so these mass producing big
Yeah, that's interesting. Whether you get your cannabis from someone who actually has a relationship with the cannabis. What is the nature of your relationship? You never see it. You glance at some pictures once.
If I got a room the size of this room, now they got 40 plants to take care of. I touch everyone every day. I spin it. I see this dead leaf almost fucking dying, so I help it. And I get to have a relationship with all 40 of my plants, and that's love. If you have, and then I've worked in places too, where there's 5,000 fucking plants, and so guess what? I don't get to touch everyone, turn it halfway, give it a massage root. You know what I got time to do? 6 seconds. 6 seconds. You don't have time to love and care for it. And what's going on too with this big legalization thing is all these big places say sure they got tons of workers, but do any of them even really know or care? Like, no, they're
and it seems
buddy,
like they're
buddy.
shrinking. The places are closing. They hire temporary foreign
Oh
workers.
man,
Like,
I don't know. And then hey, it's disheartening. But you go, buddy. I'm sorry. I got off tangent.
That's all right. For the few buyers who agree to buy grandma's cannabis, prices have collapsed to an average of $2 per kilogram in the last 2 years.
$2 a kilogram?
$2 for 2 pounds of Swazi gold grown by grandma. That's crazy. Yeah, I'll give her way more, and I would way more. Pack that. Oh yeah, I'll pay you way more. Thank you,
even
grandma.
if it's not worth smoking, we can make gummies. Or do some,
that's what I would like. I would like some edibles out of that. A long flowered sativa. Don't even trim it. Make it straight into oil for edibles. That is something I would be very interested in.
I love it.
The motive of creeping legalization and ring fencing the market is to help giant foreign cannabis corporations that are snapping up licenses to grow medical cannabis in Swaziland and kick out the competition of indigenous small scale growers. For example, STEM Holdings, an American company, announced in 2019 that it had obtained preliminary approval to become the only licensed growing farm and processing plant for medical cannabis and industrial hemp in the Kingdom of Eswatini. For a minimum of 10 years. The corporation would be the exclusive exporter within Eswatini for hemp and medical cannabis worldwide. It's an unfair deal that benefits American cannabis corporations and lines the pockets of the Swaziland royal family, but criminalizes old grandmothers who have grown cannabis for decades. That's the cost of corporate-led legalization of cannabis in Swaziland.
Okay. That's fucked up. It's messed up.
So free the people, free the weed worldwide. It's the same issue all over the place. The plant needs to be free because even aside from it being used as a drug cultivar, it's an independent living organism. It's a plant. It's not if it grows to maturity and death and then back into itself with seed. No one will be hurt the entire time.
No one.
No one's going to be harmed. So if you're scared of people smoking it or something, that's some other issue. But this plant has to be free, and these people have to be free.
And I hate to say it, like even if there's pot plants growing everywhere.
I'd hate to see it.
But even if a kid went and licked the plant,
Guess what?
The little infant is gonna go have a nap. You're gonna probably take it to the hospital because you're worried because your parent. But guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna be fucking great, man. It's probably gonna be fucking wake up smarter.
If anything happens,
honestly, if anything happens,
like what's gonna happen? You bite it. Some people don't get an effect like that.
Honestly, the plant should have been being grown for the last almost 80, 90 years, but they cut it off. And I'm not good at arithmetic unless you owe me money.
Glenn Wells is saying hi from Ontario. Genesis, it is in the Bible.
Ontario.
Anyway, so now this is a bit promising. It's still a little restrictive, but I really like the premise here. So this is an article from CNN. Thailand to give 1 million free cannabis plants to households.
Yes.
Whoa, that's something that caught my eye.
Maybe I want to move to Thailand.
The Thai government will distribute 1 million free cannabis plants to households across the nation in June to mark a new ruling allowing people to grow cannabis at home, its health minister has said. The new rule, which comes into force on June 9th, will allow people to grow cannabis plants at home after notifying their local government, but the plants will have to be of medical grade and used exclusively for medicinal purposes. Additionally, the cannabis cannot be used for commercial purposes without further licensing. But they want to send you plants if you're willing to grow it, and if you think it's going to
that's your medicine. Why was our government not doing that? Hey, you know what? And that's the other thing too. Like, man, we're allowed to grow, I think, 4 plants.
Well, maybe, unless you're in Quebec, unless you're in Manitoba, or
then you're fucked.
And here in BC, no one's allowed to see them, so you couldn't just have them out in your backyard. Because I don't know what's going to happen. A kid's going to see him and dreadlocks are going to shoot out of his head or something. Like, I don't. And even then, even if that was whatever, ridiculous, absolutely absurd. free of his plant. But yeah, giving people all these plants, I think it's a great idea. I mean, it will still be considered criminal if you don't have a legal prescription and you have to be a patient of some form of ailment for this to work. Only then will you be able to grow
Thailand.
cannabis at home. But she says, you can't once there's that many plants out there, you're not going to be able to do anything about it. Smoking weed will happen, and there's no way the government can stop that. So it's
No.
just, I mean, they need to get over that. And if they really want a taste of it being sold, they need to let it truly be free. And then realistically, you would have fine hash and smoking parlors and kind of finer end flowers, and you would make your money on that. Same as wine, because if grapes were $10 a gram, there would be no wine industry, and it's the same.
Government
same
can't
thing
stop
with
it.
cannabis. Same thing with cannabis. So we've got a little bit of footage here. This is Ted Smith speaking to the Victoria City Council about the update on where the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club is at.
For the speakers, you have 5 minutes to speak with us. There is time on the clock. When you get to 1 minute, the clock will turn yellow. When we get to 0 minutes, the clock will turn red. And that is a cue to wrap up your remarks. For members of the public, for the member of the public speaking this evening, this isn't an opportunity for a back and forth between yourself and council, but it is an opportunity for us to listen to you. And we do have your contact information. So if there's anything that you share this evening that council wishes to follow up with you about, we have your information to do so. So I will invite you forward to take the microphone, and we're here to listen.
Sorry. Thank you very much, Mayor and Council. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. It's always a pleasure to be here. My name is Ted Smith. My name is Ted Smith. I live at 1375 Fisher Road, but I'm representing the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club tonight on Johnson Street. I'm here tonight to essentially ask for the next step in the exemption process that we've engaged in with Health Canada. As Mayor and Council know, we've got quite the battle with the higher powers over the legitimacy of our organization. And last year, we submitted an exemption that the Mayor and Council supported, and we greatly appreciate that. We've now had a meeting with Health Canada, our first one, where they were asking questions about our operation and our intentions on how we wish to transition into the legal system. It really comes down to the 10 milligram THC limit that Health Canada has put on their products. Essentially, it is such a small dosage of THC that our patients find it unacceptable, and that's why we've been essentially forced to stay open. For example, we have a lot of patients that use 1,000 milligrams a day to fight cancer. We have suppositories that have 250 milligrams of THC in them. That would be 25 suppositories 4 times a day for a cancer patient if they were to use what's legally available, let alone the prices. And so given that, and given the just intensity of the opioid crisis, it seems absurd to remove the services that we're providing under any circumstances, which is why we're holding our ground very firmly. And so to assist in Health Canada granting the exemption, we would essentially like some clarification from the city sent to Health Canada, clarifying that the city understands and appreciates that this is in the public interest, because our application to Health Canada is based on the merits of the public interest of the application. We're not a scientific organization or doing research. We're operating within the public interest. And Health Canada is really concerned about our ability to be compliant with the exemption and upon our intentions in getting that. And so if the city was willing to help, I guess, clarify that this is in the public interest, and that you believe, as I hope you do, that it is our intention to be as cooperative as possible with every level of government upon receiving this exemption to become fully compliant, because the real problem would be over our supply initially. There is nowhere to buy 10 milligram or higher than that dosage products, and once receiving the exemption, we would have to still continue to work in the illegal market until we were able to get our facility fully operational and compliant. And so there is some issues, to be sure, but we really do fully intend on working with the government as much as possible upon receiving this exemption. Although honestly, we don't think that the managers of the office in Health Canada have it within their powers to do this. So we do expect a no. But at that point, we will be going to court, which has been our savior all along, which is what we've been preparing to do. And also, to fight the fine that you may have heard of, I'm not sure. But we certainly do intend upon arguing that this 10 milligram limit is unconstitutional and cannot be justified in science. In fact, recently we've gotten a letter of support from all of the major drug policy researchers in British Columbia, because they understand that we are an essential harm reduction service. So we have the full support of the scientific community, and we would hope to have the continued support of council. So I will be discussing with some individual councillors about the letter. I realize we can't have a discussion here, but it is something that would be very helpful towards us getting this exemption, whether it's through the administrative process or the legal process. Again, thank you very much, Mayor and Council.
Thank you very much, and thanks for working with individual councillors, because it would be a motion of council that would need to come forward. So really appreciate, the ropes for sure, and thanks for coming this evening.
Yeah, so good on Ted. Apologize about the volume on that. City council videos are always notoriously really quiet. But Ted made two very good points. One that the suppositories. There's no such thing as a 250 milligram suppository on the legal market. So if you need that because you need to bypass your mouth, like for example, you have someone who's a cancer patient who doesn't have their jaw and neck like this particular veteran, or you need to absorb it differently, it needs to be used as a suppository. But at the dosage limits, you would just have to be jamming suppositories up to all day
10,
while
25,
going through cancer.
25.
Now, it might have been multiple times a day, depending on how you do the math. And then there's also, are you even allowed to buy that many? Do they even have that many? And like, just all the practical concerns around it. Like,
because it's going to be supply chain. It's going to be supply chain issue soon enough too. So honestly, honestly,
the other thing was
the way
that
our government's going. Anyways, you go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, the other thing that he mentioned was that contact Health Canada, but Health Canada is questioning as to whether these types of enterprises are in the public interest. The CSP, the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club, are they in the public interest?
They were in the public interest for 25 fucking years.
Like Ted said that they don't qualify for research because they don't have enough research, and Neil also collects research, but is also in the public interest. But how it's just so
absurd.
It's just I struggle to find the words. I try every time we share the news. And I just can't find them, because it should be so easy. It should be so quick and clear. Anyone who bothers to take the time to look can see cannabis is not inherently harmful. It's just a plant, and if you're worried about it being strong, that's how is any other strong substance handled? And stop being so greedy with it. Even if you want to make tons of money off it, you can still do that while people grow it freely.
And be
but
free.
The difference is you may actually have to be good at it.
Or you might have to up your game. Because
you might have to act. If you want to sell $1 million hash, you have to actually have it, not just punish everyone else.
And so that's why, too. So I'm going to tell you this: if you, not just as my buddy at. We got and my other top shelf buddy. We got the top shelf BC buds. If you go hit the website,
we should actually we got a cam on the back of this bag here. I want to got a little
you can show, but
got a little window.
It's got a window. And anyways, then we got
beautiful design. Let's show them all off.
And then we got, but here, so this though is
Whoa,
lovely.
let's back it up. Let's. Oh, don't even touch it. Oh, what is that?
So I'll show you the outside of the box first because hey, my buddy has got the fucking killerest. I love the fucking purple guy.
The artwork is great.
So, anyways, and then you got 10 different flavors of fucking love pens. And a love pen, what one do you want? Because I'm gonna give you one.
Oh, thank you. I mean, whatever.
I think the guy at the back. I think the guy at the back is Purple Punch.
Purple Punch.
He looks like Purple
Punch.
So yeah, you have a Purple Punch.
Thank you. We'll have to give this a try. Purple Punch.
Yeah, we'll give you a Purple Punch one in the box. But anyways, if you go to We Got the Goods, you get some vape pens. You get some bags of fucking dicks and send those bags of dicks to fucking Trudeau, especially.
I mean, it's got purple in it. I feel that taste.
It's Purple Punch, man. And they also got my man purse is in the other room.
Oh wow!
But they also got the fucking they got the live resin pens as well.
Now that would be
they got
the
tins,
live resin and the rosin pens.
Soft
Those are the things I'm interested in. Pens are okay, but the live
HPs,
resin and the rosin.
Hey, whatever you got,
flour.
They got the goods, and they also got the top shelf gummies, which we're donating these to Neil Magnuson's fucking poor cause, and I'm fucking donating some bags of dicks, and we're donating some money to Neil's Ted Smith, and
$200 to Ted.
Yeah,
straight to his lawyer, Jack Lloyd Law Corporation.
Yeah, we're fucking. Honestly,
that's great. That's so generous and so sweet of you.
Help
and
Ted
these
Smith,
are people I would
help
want to support.
yourselves,
I would want to
and pretty
support
can-
Top Shelf. I would want to support We Got the Goods.
And pretty soon, probably, we're gonna have Spicoli's. We're gonna have Spicoli's. We're gonna have Spicoli's. We're gonna have Spicoli's. Okay. Oh yeah, there it is. So, hey, we're gonna have Spicoli's fucking top shelf.
Oh, is
Top
Spicoli's got
shelf
his own
tuna cans.
Oh.
So then, yeah.
Oh, not yet.
Move the cherries out of the way. This like honestly.
Now, is this Spicoli approved?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That smells like a strain you like.
It's 100% Spicoli approved.
There you go, Spicoli approved. So
yeah, man.
Now
so
you know.
anyways, love to the
Absolutely.
mother freaking love.
Let's just say just let everyone know, of course. Contact the Vancouver Police Department, but also contact Health Canada.
Hey, Jesse Kerr, you just hit up We Got the Goods, and then they'll help you out. Unless you want my number, but you don't want my number.
Different goods. CannabisCulture.com. Get all the news that you heard here today and so much more. I've been publishing, so long, over 25 years. Great information. If you want videos, Pot TV, specifically just the videos like the one you've seen. If you're not in the area and can't visit the incredible Vapor Lounge and Head Shop at 307 West Hastings, also includes the High Score Gaming Lounge, which is you might have heard them. Eagle-eared viewers will recognize them in the background. But if you're not at 307 West Hastings, you can find everything at CannabisCultureHQ.com and sign up for the newsletter. That way you can stay in touch. And I'll tell you,
man.
If the news you're watching wasn't covering Neil Magnuson, then I don't think they're being fair enough with cannabis. Because, if they're not covering Neil Magnuson, Ted Smith, they're not telling you about this. And who's on their cannabis beat?
We're almost the real news because we tell it like it is.
It's the real weed news.
It's a real weed
When's
news.
the last? Show me the weed reporter.
Where was even the footage on his? Sickening. It's sickening that nobody's standing up, but hey, we'll get there, man.
Sickening that it happened, but I will say, when I went to the CSP on Tuesday, you can also follow updates.
It wasn't on Global in the morning.
I heard. I wasn't. I didn't see the global coverage if there was some. Someone told me there was, but I haven't seen a copy of it. But so many people have shown up to drop off letters, to sign the petition, to support them. So don't be too disappointed. That's why it might be heartening to show up in person if you can, just to see the people there. They've got some love. So it's unfortunate that this happened.
After this show,
but
I'm gonna
you know what?
walk these gummies right down there.
All cannabis. We're only at where we're at, even though it isn't perfect, because people stood up to fight for it. So
Exactly,
unfortunate, but a lot of good things happening. So on that note, in this delicious red Congo, I will say what I always like to say: drug peace.
Love, love. Bear with me while I make the love cannon. We're gonna blow this shit off the roof this year. So I've been taping up the inner guts of the machine. Like, man, I bought 6 feet of screen. When you have a glass piece that has got half a pound in it, and so you got a half a pound cherry, that's hot. So, and this is take 1 of the 4/20/2022 love cannon.
Oh, it works.
Okay, you sent me a smoke signal.
Wow. And that wasn't even a half pound.
Drug peace.
Drug peace. Love to the love.
All right, welcome to the THC show with Neil, where we talk about the unpleasant truths of our system and our democracy here.
I help patients. I
know what you're saying.
I got rated for growing, and I'm staring at the cracks in the wall doing time, and I'm trying to figure out who I hurt. No victim, no crime.
And we look for avenues of hope and ways that we can change some things. As you can see, there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of care packs that we're handing out there. I am not a criminal.
Wow, look at this.
Right,
Hey, it's 420 for sure now. Got you.
And I'll be back next Tuesday for another episode of THC, Truth, Hope, and Change. Go about changing the world as best you can, and while you're doing it, just have as much fun as you can. Thank you.
Hello there, first-time viewers. Welcome to Pot TV. Welcome to Pot TV.
Let them go! 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 Let them go!
It is only now, once we've reached this point of critical mass, that I could really tell you the story, because that's the interactive nature of the internet.
Pot TV is an internet video-based site. We've had over 6 million shows watched. We get about 10,000 shows watched a day. Shows on growing marijuana, medical marijuana, politics of marijuana.
And at that time, most magazines or books revolving around marijuana were prohibited literature.
From cookbooks to grow books, books about the cannabis culture, mushroom books, even psychedelic books.
The mass injustice being done where millions of people in this country are being scapegoated, having their rights and their property and their leisure time and their privacy and their freedom of movement all stripped away from them.
And they pulled me off the line, and pushed me down and put me in handcuffs, and they locked me in the patio.
This is what it's all about. A little green plant. You, the taxpayers, are being asked to subsidize a war on a little green plant.
I know it's scary and difficult and frustrating, and politicians are a fraud. Try and change that and be a voice of truth.
For many, many years, decades,
In 2001, Canada legalized marijuana for medical purposes.
Pot TV news flash breaking story, July 9th, 2003.
I became leader about 9 months ago.
You have how many locations and how long have you been serving the people of the community for?
Well, I started in 2004.
Because as long as you're not hurting anyone else, as long as you're not causing any harm, then why should you be dealing with police or prisons or agents of the government?
A former DEA agent and author of Powder Burns, Cocaine Contras and the Drug War.
In the media often, and the media reports uncritically all too often.
I saw this video and I was like, whoa, man, seems like there's something to this.
Join me weekdays on Pot TV.
We're going to be doing a new show here on Pot TV.
On Pot TV, Our Hour combines poetry, music, art, video clips, and photographs with a variety of interesting guests who are involved in the medical cannabis movement.
Comes on air at 4:20.
Cannabis indica, or Indian hemp. It was tasted by the priests on sacrificial occasions.
So I'm gonna stop and smoke a joint. Just figured I'd show you my surroundings here. Beautiful, beautiful little flowers everywhere.
Hemp and its many applications, how hemp can be made into paper and fuel and clothing and that.
2 different samples.
Now these are the same cut, grown in the same room with 2 different soil mixes.
As a line diagram, okay, and this is a cross-section of a bract.
Now on some of these plants too, there's something called pre-flowers that form. Sometimes 8 to 12 weeks into the veg cycle, you can look 3 or 4 sets of branches down from the top. Hey, wait a second, I'm not even smoking joints. I'm talking.
We need real cannabis dispensaries. Many patients who use cannabis as a medicine need access. You're taking the medicine away from sick and dying people.
Let's overgrow the government. Let's have more marijuana than they can ever stop.
But while you sit here enjoying this, remember those who are in prison this moment, locked away from their loved ones, locked away from their friends, and that could be you.
Just want to say thanks for watching Pot TV. You can't get higher on the net.